today we'll be looking at how to scan any QR code or barcode in Android with the help of React Native's new architecture, and we will be using CameraX. We won't be using any third-party dependencies because I think using CameraX is the recommended approach by Google, and that is the right way to do things. I know there is already a library called React Native Vision Camera, but I have faced lot of issues with this, and I'm not sure if it supports the new architecture as of yet. It might support in the future. And also for scanning any QR code, this does not automatically do that. You have to write a bunch of code for it. So yeah, using CameraX and following the recommended approach by Google is the right way. Don't take any shortcuts by installing any kind of node modules, because that will cause issues in the future. So trust me on that. So first, create a default React Native project. I have already created it, and my project name is RN app. So you can see over here it is RN app. Now we have to enable the new architecture. So search for new arc enabled. So I will just search for new arc enabled. Go to gradle.properties, just make it true. That's it. Okay. Next, if when you run yarn Android, you should see fabric :true inside your metro bundler. This means that new architecture has been enabled. Now go to fabric native components. So inside the folder setup, again, like they mention that use the make RTN center text outside your project folder, but according to me this is incorrect. So as usual, I have created the RTN scan QR inside the project folder. Okay, so give appropriate name on what the actual functionality is. So we are scanning a QR in our case, so I have named it RTN scan QR. Again, the file naming is important, so it's better you follow what I have done. Otherwise you will face a lot of issues. Then create Android, iOS and JS folder. So Android, iOS and JS, forget about the generated folder. Now inside Java's JS folder, you have to create this file, RTN center text native component. So in our case it will be RTN scan QR native component.ts. Again, you don't have to worry about all the code. It will be in the description below, so you can check it out. So again, the naming is important, and here I have copy pasted most of the code. This is changed, the file name RTN scan QR, and in interface we need a callback from the native module, right? So whenever a person scans a QR code, it is done on the native side with CameraX, and once that is scanned, we need to get the value of whatever the QR code says. So I have created this on QR code scanned, and it takes it is of type direct event handler, which is of type event, and event will get us the value of the QR code. Next, what you have to do is you have to create a package.json file. It should not be inside the JS folder. It should be a sibling to your JS folder. So your package.json, copy pasted everything. Only this name would change. This will change. This will change. This will change as well. If you want, you can change this thing as well. But yeah, these are only GitHub links and they won't affect your code. Next, okay, we will ignore iOS for now. Okay, now inside Android you have to create some structure like this. So go to your Android folder, create an src folder, and create build.gradle. The build.gradle should not be inside src, it should be inside Android folder. And inside src create main, inside that create Java, inside that create com, and inside that create RTN scan QR. Again, the name is important. And for now you can just create this file scan QR package.kt. Copy everything. Only for now you have, instead of this, you have to write return empty list. Here on line 11 as well, you have to write return empty list, because we have not created scan QR manager. we will create that later. So for now just create scan QR package, and here just write return empty list, everything else remains the same. Okay, and inside build.gradle, yeah, so firstly I'm using Kotlin. So first I have copy pasted everything from the documentation. Next, for Kotlin you have to write this apply plugin Kotlin Android. Then inside namespace you have to change this rtn scan QR. And the next thing, again this is for the Kotlin dependencies, to add Kotlin. And this is the CameraX dependency, which will help us to open the camera, which in turn will scan QR code. And for implementing this QR code logic, I am using MLKit barcode scanning. So from CameraX 1.2.0, I know there is another library called CameraX MLKit something, but it is still not stable yet as part at the time of this recording. It is still in beta, that's why I didn't want to take any other chances. So you can use MLKit barcode scanning for now. In the future you can just check the documentation of CameraX whether that camera MLKit has been stable or not. If it is, it would be like 1 or 2 lines of change, you won't have to do much changes as such. Okay, add this all dependency. Now go inside your main Android folder. Okay, and here go to build.gradle. You have to write this line Kotlin version. I'm enabling Kotlin inside the main project as well, because I don't want any issues regarding Kotlin, and Kotlin is recommended by Google also. And add this line as well, class path org.jetbrains.kotlin Gradle plugin. Next go to app, go to build.gradle, again add this line apply plugin Kotlin dash Android. And next you have to write this line implementation org.jetbrains.kotlin standard lib 1.6.21. Next go to src, go to main, go to android manifest.xml. Then you have to add the camera permission as well as the use feature, which will check whether your device has a camera or not. Okay, so that's done. You can come back to the documentation. So we have already created this. Now this is for iOS, we can ignore. So for Android, you have to go to cd to your app. So you can open terminal like this, and it tells you to run yarn add dot dot slash rtn center text, but in our case it would be yarn add dot slash, not double dot slash, because our rtn scan QR is part of our React Native project. We have not created it outside the project, so it will be only dot slash, not double dot slash. So it will be dot slash rtn scan QR. Okay, then what you can do is open this main Android folder inside Android Studio. Wait some time for it to do Gradle sync and building indexes and all that stuff. Once that is done, open the terminal of your Android Studio and just run this command. Once you run this command, what you have to do is go to your node modules, scroll down to, you should see a folder called rtn scan QR. Inside that you should see an Android folder, and you should see this generated is for iOS, sorry. You should see this build folder, which contains all the code gen which is required for React Native's new architecture. Once that is done, so here it tells you what the code gen looks like. Okay, next, now coming back to our actual code. So go inside rtn scan QR. I will just remove this. Go to Android src. Now create 4 files. We already have the scan QR package, right? So create 3 files: scan qr.kt, scan qr event.kt, scan qr manager.kt. And inside scan QR package, make this change. Okay, return collection.singleton list. Inside scan QR manager, so this I have copied from documentation. Only thing which I have changed is that this file name should be changed. So this should be changed, this should be changed. this should be changed. It is kind of like a boilerplate code for working with React Native's new architecture. So if you want, you can pause the video and copy the code, or you can check it from the source code description. Okay. Yeah, I keep saying okay a lot. Then this is kind of a weird, I won't call it a hack, but like I didn't really understood it. I'm I somehow figured it out using using React Native's working group on GitHub. Like so we already have this on QR scanned inside the JavaScript interface, right? So wait, so on QR scan we already have it, right? But here you have to write something like this top, and then O should be capital, then on QR scanned, and then map builder dot off, then registration name, then again your on QR scan. Like even I don't understand why we have to do this, but it seems like React Native has been designed in such a way, like whenever you want to pass a callback from Android to React Native side, you might have to do something like this, and this works for me. If you have a better approach, do let me know. Okay, so once you are done with this, go to scan QR event. So yeah, this is kind of like an event class. Whenever we will detect the QR code, we will use this class to send the value back to React Native. So again, you can copy paste this. And there is one bug which I will come to this. So this is the bug is related to this line. I will come back to this, and you can copy paste the code again. This is kind of like an event emitter which will emit and which will receive the event first. Then we are writing the data, and then in the scan qr.kt we are sending the value back to React Native side. So again, this is kind of like a boilerplate code. And here comes the main module. So first writes class scan qr context. I'm using linear layout. Then I'm using a preview view. Again, I have copy pasted this code from CameraX documentation. There is a Google code sample which does all of this, so you can refer to that. Even I am not an expert in it. Then we are using a camera provider, and these are all stuff required for the CameraX to work. Yeah, here we are checking for permissions, whether permission has been properly granted or not. Then I am creating a linear layout params and assigning it to my layout params. So wrap content. Then again, this is match parent for the preview view of your camera, adding that view back to your linear layout. Okay, this is setting the layout params to linear layout. This is the orientation of linear layout. You can use a frame layout as well if you want to. Then these two methods I found it on Stack Overflow. Like again, I don't understand this, but I think if you remove these two methods, your camera won't render, and you have to do this kind of stuff like even sorry, even I don't know what all stuff this is. Then you have to set up your camera, and we are calling setup camera inside scan QR manager. So here you can see we are calling that method. So setup camera, first we are checking whether the camera permissions has been granted or not. If yes, then start the camera. Then again, this is kind of like boilerplate code which you have to write. Here is an interesting thing. So here you can tell what kind of barcodes you want to detect. So I have only added two: format QR code and format hashtag. But you can add more more types of barcode as well. You can find all types of barcode which are supported in the MLKit documentation. So yeah, refer to that. Then I am creating a scanner. Then I'm again, this is kind of like copied it from the documentation, and again this is copied from documentation. So here is the neat part. So this is where if you are successfully able to detect any QR code using your camera, then we are first getting that QR code, getting the raw value of that QR code, and here we are stopping the camera. So what I wanted to do is that as soon as I detect any type of QR code, I want to stop the camera. If you don't want to stop it, then you can comment out this line. Then this is kind of like boilerplate code to send the value back to React Native side. Then this is failure listener. If you want to, you can do some kind of error handling, and this is on complete listener. Then this is for required permissions. This is the start camera method. So again, copied from the Google Docs sample of CameraX. So again, you can also do the same thing, and unbind all, and binding to life cycle. Yeah, whatever. Okay. So yeah, that's it. Now if you come back, so first you have to do yarn add again dots slash rtn scan qr inside your terminal. Okay, and then you can run yarn android, and it should work according to me. Okay, sorry, I forgot how to show forgot to tell you how to use it. Okay, so inside app.tsx, so for android I have created something called my android view. So if you go into that, first I'm checking whether the camera permission is granted or not, and I'm getting the height and width of your mobile phone using use windows dimension, and inside use effect I'm calling this method check camera permission. So this what it does is that it basically gives the pop-up to accept the camera permission. So if the user has accepted the camera permission, I'm setting this use state to true, and if you see, if the use state is true, then I'm rendering the our native component. If it is false, then I'm rendering a text component, and I am importing the rtn scan qr from rtn scan qr /js / rtn scan qr native component. Here you can specify height and width, and inside this you will see the actual value which has been scanned. Okay, now if you want, I can show you a video. Now this is an iOS video. Okay, but same thing works for Android as well. So yeah, in iOS you can see it is scanning multiple times, but for Android it will be only once, because of the we are unbinding the camera provider, which I have already told you. The next important thing which I wanted to show you guys is this issue. So you will notice that as soon as you scan a QR code, it will show the value for that QR code, and then it will also print out undefined. So it is because of this issue that RCT modern event emitter fires twice for Android Fabric component, and the solution says that you have to comment out this line. Okay, so I have commented out this line. Where did it go? I'll just search for it. Okay, it is inside the scan QR event, but remember, if you comment out this line, you will always get undefined. Like, I don't know why you will never get the value from even though the scan is successful, you never get a value on React Native side. So this seems like a bug to me in the React Native's implementation, but yeah, for now it's okay, I guess. You can keep this super line, and you will get two values, right? One is undefined, second one would be undefined, first would be the actual value. So you can add a undefined check if you want to. So I think that should be it. Again, you can find the source code in the description. Thank you for watching. Bye.